Somehow we try to go out with friends, hang around with our friends at the bar, try to get drunk, to forget everything. And at the end, we still struggle even double when we wake up. Is that right? Because although just added more burden, added more suffering to yourself, it's not healthy. At that moment, maybe because of that alcohol, it helped you to forget something, but you're not really forgetting anything. It's just that you are focusing on that alcohol. You are paying attention to that feeling, to that taste. And then when you pay fully attention to that taste, and your friend talking with you, having those fun moments, and then you temporarily forgetting the things that you were sad about. But it's always within. It's not gone yet. And then when you get drunk, you cannot have a peace, you cannot have a moment to think of that where those saddest things in your life, because you were locked out already. Right? And then you go to bed. You're not going to bed yet. You're saying a lot of things, doing a lot of things, and break a lot of things, harms a lot of people and yourself. And then tomorrow when you wake up, find yourself in the toilet, on the street, in the car, at the pub, at our friend's house, in the kitchen, remarried. And then now that hurts really bad. Trying to stay awake with you. And now that you go to the bathroom and look at yourself in that mirror, you cannot recognize yourself anymore. Is that right? We've been there, done that, right? And so that is the reason why we try to do something to help ourselves, but we've done it the wrong way. We have done it a wrong way for so long. And that's what we keep doing that. We are not stopping there, we keep doing that. Because we love torturing yourself. You don't love yourself at all. If you truly love yourself, you wouldn't do that to harm yourself. To love yourself means you have to take good care of yourself. Two self. This outer body and the inner body. This physical body and the mind body. That's two persons. We call it a two-person, but also easy to understand this is only one, the mind. Okay? This is physical body. We don't want to talk about it because it's also temporary. We have to love ourselves the way that you have to take good care of yourself, not to do anything harmful to yourself or to anybody. To any being. You're not going to get yourself drunk without controlling. You don't know what to do, what to say, how to feel, how to go home. You have to love yourself the way that you have to protect you from all kinds of dangers. You have to love yourself, protect you from saying all the bad things, doing all the bad things, and thinking all the bad things. That is how we love ourselves. When we have a thought that thinking that, okay, I will do this, You have to think twice. If I do this, is it going to harm me and the others, or is it going to support me and help me and the others? If it is supporting you and the others, go right ahead. But if it's harmful for you and the others, please don't do it. It's all just created by one thought. This right here, just one thought. With one thought, you can bring happiness to the world. With one thought, you can bring a lot of tears to this world. Just that one thought. Which one would we prefer? Happy, joy, peace to the world, right? We wouldn't want to bring any tears to anybody. But that's what we do. We brought tears to the world, but not that world yet. Because we don't have that power yet, or we haven't known them yet. That world is to all beings. But the world that I'm talking about is our inner world, Ashland, our family. They are the one who have to face all those things from us most of the time. Your husband, your wife, your parents, your kids, your siblings, and then friends. We could be nice to our friends, really, really nice to our friends, but not our family. Why is that? Because when we go home and you see our families, you expect your family to know you better. You give yourself that right to expect your family to know you better, and know your personality. And this is what I like, and this is what I don't like. So they should know that. Why do you still do that? Then when you go out and you hang out with friends, they also do that, but you didn't say a word. Because of respect, because of caring. What about our family? We treat the other very nice, but we treat our family really not nice, not that nice yet. So we need to think twice. Family always first. If we cannot protect our world, this world, our family's world, we cannot protect anybody's world. If we cannot make this world and our family's world at peace, you cannot bring peace to any other world. Is that true? If we are at peace, you can talk about peace and share that with many other people. But when we are not at peace, and we are talking about peace, why we always react when things come to our life. And then when we sit down at the table with friends and everybody, we talk about peace. It's not possible. Of course not. That is just a talking. And this is not what we want. We don't want to talk no more. Talking doesn't make us free. It doesn't bring any benefit to us if you just talk. We need to make that into action, bring that into action. If we can say it, we must be able to do it. If you can say it, if you say it, if you cannot do it, please don't say it. Don't waste your energy, don't waste your effort. Do the thing that you say. Say the thing that you do. And so, back to earlier when I said only 1 month, just 1 month passed by, and we still hasn't had a good time with that month yet. How about tonight? Are you at peace?
Yes.
Well, I hope so. What about those days when you haven't seen that because you follow us online or trying to go look for us, were you at peace?
Yes.
But those also temporary, right?
Yes.
Today, from the time you started to have the thought that, okay, I will come out of the love of peace. From that moment until now, means that you have that thought and you prepare yourself and then you drive yourself out the street looking for a place, find a parking space, and then finally saw them on the walk, and then you offer them something but no didn't receive it, and then now we all gathered here. Please tell me. Let's say all those cost about 5-6 hours. For those 6 hours, were you at peace the whole time?
Yes. Yes.
Who say yes, raise your hand. Only 5% in this audience. And for the rest, you wasn't sure that you will be at peace. You are at peace during those 6 hours are not right. Okay. Our mind is changing rapidly. Every second, every past. Is that true?
Yes.
Just one moment earlier could be really happy. A moment after we could cry. In opposite way. Okay? So our minds only changing. This life is impermanent, it's changing. The mind is impermanent, it's changing. Those seen out there, the nature out there also impermanent, it's changing. So we cannot guarantee anything. We try, I want to point that out so we can understand how difficult it is for us to have a peaceful moment. But how easy it is for us to burn it all. Just one thought, just one single word from a stranger. You burn it all. Just like one of the quote that I always teach myself. To accumulate meritorious deed. As difficult as every day when you use a glass straw with a lid shield. Every time when we have a wholesome mind, meditation, talking nice, helping the others, do charity work, anything, or learning how to purify your mind, anything that is good, okay? One thing you do it good on that day, you drop into that jar, just one drop of water. One drop of water into that jar. Seal it again. Make sure it's not evaporated. Okay? Now, tomorrow you do one more good thing, drop another drop of water into it. Try to collect those drop of water. Each drop represents one good thing that we haven't done. You know, try to collect it, build it up each and every day to see how difficult it is for you to collect that full jar of water, of merit. But during that time, if you happen to lose your get angry and hatred and delusion and greedy and all those things to make you suffer and harm yourself and harm the others. It means you take that jar of water that you have been collected, open that lid, pour it on the ground. Pour it all out on the dirt your ears. Can you pick it back up and put it back into the jar? No, cannot. It's gone. It's gone. Just one thought, unwholesome thought, unwholesome speech, unwholesome action, you could ruin it all. It means you stopping all those good things, good karma that you have created so long to come to you. Now only all the bad ones keep coming one after another. Do you know why when it's bad, good karma, when it comes, it will not just come one, but it will come many on top of each other. You know why? Because when our mind is full of defilements, suffering, it only attracts all those bad things.
We spend so much of our lives searching for a silence that seems to constantly elude us. In the fast-paced rhythm of modern American life, where the noise of notifications, the demands of our careers, and the anxieties of the news cycle never seem to cease, there is a collective yearning for a pause button. We are all, in our own ways, walking a pilgrimage, looking for a destination called peace. Yet, despite our best efforts, we often feel as though we are walking in circles. We carry a heaviness that we cannot quite explain, a sense that while our physical bodies are moving and functioning, something vital within us has gone dormant. It is this subtle, pervasive sense of spiritual fatigue that Venerable Bhikkhu Panikkara, a wisdom keeper and pilgrim of peace, asks us to confront not with judgment, but with a gentle, awakening honesty. He invites us to look at the state of our own aliveness, suggesting that perhaps we have been dead for a long time, walking, talking, and working, yet disconnected from the vibrant, protective presence of our own hearts. To find the peace we claim to want, we must first be brave enough to look at where we have been hiding from it. The most common place we hide is in distraction. There is a familiar script many of us follow when the weight of the world becomes too much. We try to escape. We rally our friends. We head to the bar. And we pour a drink with the specific intention of forgetting. We want to numb the sharp edges of our stress, to blur the lines of our responsibilities, and to step out of our own minds for a few hours. We treat the present moment as something to be survived rather than experienced. But as the Venerable points out with piercing clarity, this strategy of avoidance is a mirage. We add alcohol, we add sugar, we add noise to our systems, thinking we are subtracting our burdens, but we are only compounding them. When we are in that state of intoxication, whether it is from liquor, endless entertainment, or workaholism, we are not actually forgetting our pain. We are simply shifting our focus to a temporary sensation. We zone in on the taste of the drink or the loud laughter of a friend. And for a fleeting second, the sadness recedes to the background. But it does not leave the room. It sits patiently in the corner, waiting for the lights to come on. When the night ends and the anesthesia wears off, we are left with the reality of the morning after. We wake up finding ourselves in compromised positions, physically ill in the bathroom, disoriented in a car, or emotionally hollowed out in our own beds. The tragedy of this cycle is the confrontation with the mirror. We look at our reflection and we do not recognize the person staring back. We see a stranger who has been harming themselves in the name of having a good time. We realize that in our desperate attempt to feel better, we have actually tortured the very vessel that carries us through life. This realization brings us to a fundamental misunderstanding of what it means to love ourselves. In our culture, self-love is often marketed as indulgence, treating ourselves to that extra drink, that expensive purchase, or that night of reckless abandonment. We think, "I deserve this," as we engage in behaviors that ultimately leave us depleted. However, a mindfulness perspective flips this definition upside down. True self-love is not indulgence, it is stewardship. It is the fierce, protective act of taking care of oneself. The Venerable reminds us that we are comprised of two persons, or two bodies, the physical outer form and the inner mental body. They are inextricably linked, yet we often neglect both. To truly love yourself is to act as a guardian for these two bodies. It means recognizing that you are worthy of protection, protection from dangerous situations, protection from toxic substances, and perhaps most importantly, protection from your own harmful impulses. If you truly loved a child, you would not hand them a substance that makes them sick or put them in a car with a reckless driver. Why, then, do we do this to ourselves? Loving yourself means having the discipline to say no to the things that hurt you, even when they feel good in the moment. It is the practice of looking at a potential action, a harsh word, a third drink, a vengeful text, and asking, will this harm me and others? Or will this support me and others? If it causes harm, the most loving thing you can do is to stop. This restraint is not a punishment, it is the highest form of compassion. It is the gentle recognition that you are too valuable to be damaged by your own lack of awareness. The power to offer this protection lies in a space we often overlook, the single thought. Every action, every war, every act of kindness, and every regret starts as a microscopic spark in the mind. We tend to believe that our lives are shaped by external events, the economy, the weather, the traffic, but our lived reality is actually drafted in the architecture of our thoughts. Just one thought has the power to bring tears to the world. And just one thought has the power to bring healing. The difficulty lies in the speed at which these thoughts occur. One moment we are peaceful, and a split second later, a memory or a judgment arises, and we are plunged into anger or despair. Mindfulness is the practice of slowing down that process enough to see the thought before it becomes an action. It is the ability to stand at the gate of the mind and check the credentials of every visitor. When a thought of anger arises, we have a choice. We can blindly follow it down a path that leads to destruction. Or we can pause. That pause is the birthplace of peace. It is in that brief hesitation where we decide whether to water the seeds of suffering or the seeds of joy. We often underestimate this power, feeling that one small thought doesn't matter. But the world we inhabit is simply a collection of these small thoughts manifested into reality. If we want a peaceful world, we cannot wait for legislation or treaties. We must begin by policing the violence that occurs in the privacy of our own skulls. We must choose the thoughts that bring light rather than tears, not just for the world out there, but for the immediate world right in front of us. Nowhere is this choice more difficult and more critical than within our own families. There is a strange and painful paradox in the human condition that the Venerable highlights. We are often kindest to strangers and cruelest to those we love. We can go out with friends, or even sit in a business meeting, and display immense patience, charm, and politeness. We hold doors open, we smile at bad jokes, and we suppress our annoyance out of respect or social convention. Yet, the moment we cross the threshold of our own homes, that filter dissolves. We dump our exhaustion, our irritability, and our unfiltered judgments onto our spouses, our parents, and our children. Why do we do this? We tell ourselves it is because we are comfortable, because our family knows us. We feel we have a right to be our worst selves at home because we assume their love is unconditional. But this is a dangerous assumption. By saving our best behavior for people we barely know and giving our emotional scraps to the people who matter most, we are actively eroding the foundation of our lives. If we cannot protect the peace of our own living room, we have no business trying to save the world. The family unit is the training ground for compassion. It is the laboratory where we must prove that we can handle the volatile chemicals of emotion without causing an explosion. If we can learn to treat our partner or our sibling with the same courtesy we extend to a waiter or a casual acquaintance, we begin to heal the fracture between our public ideals and our private realities. Peace is not a theoretical concept to be discussed at a podium. It is the practical act of not snapping at your partner when you are tired. This brings us to the ultimate test of integrity, bridging the gap between our words and our actions. We live in an era of high-minded rhetoric. We love to talk about peace. We post quotes about tranquility on social media. We attend workshops, and we nod in agreement during inspirational lectures. But talking about peace while living in a state of agitation is like talking about fitness while sitting on the couch eating junk food. It serves no functional purpose. As the Pilgrim reminds us, talking doesn't make us cool. In fact, if we speak of peace but act with aggression, our words become empty noise that contributes to the confusion of the world. There is a profound humility in realizing that if we cannot do it, we shouldn't say it. This isn't about silencing ourselves. It is about raising the standard of our behavior to match our speech. It is better to remain silent and act with kindness than to preach about compassion while harboring resentment. The practice is to make our lives the message. When we are truly at peace, we don't need to broadcast it. It is felt by everyone around us. It radiates from our presence, our patience, and our stability. The goal is to reach a point where we no longer need to discuss peace because we are peace. Until then, our task is to reduce the gap between the person we claim to be and the person who reacts when things go wrong. We must move from being commentators on life to being participants in its healing. The urgency of this practice is best understood through the fragile nature of goodness itself. Imagine your life as an attempt to fill a large glass jar with clear, pure water. Each drop of water represents a moment of mindfulness, a good deed, a kind word, or a moment of restraint. It is incredibly difficult to fill this jar. It requires patience, persistence, and a daily commitment to accumulate merit. Drop by tiny drop, you might spend a whole day just to gather a few drops, holding your tongue when you wanted to shout, helping a neighbor, or sitting in meditation for 5 minutes. Day by day, year by year, the water level slowly rises, representing the reservoir of your character and your spiritual peace. But here is the terrifying truth. While it takes a lifetime to fill the jar, it takes only 1 second to kick it over. A single moment of uncontrolled rage, a flash of hatred, or a devastatingly cruel action can shatter the jar and spill the water into the dust. Once it is spilled, it cannot be gathered back up. The earth swallows it, and it is gone. This metaphor illustrates the high stakes of our emotional lives. We often feel that we can afford a little anger or a little toxicity, not realizing that these moments can undo years of inner work. The bad things, the chaos, the drama, the suffering, seem to come in waves, piling on top of one another, precisely because when we break our own jar, we lose the protection of our accumulated peace. However, this is not a message of despair. It is a message of profound empowerment. By understanding how fragile our peace is, we learn to cherish it more deeply. We stop being careless with our hearts. We treat our minds like the precious vessels they are. We walk through our days with the gentle precision of someone carrying a full cup of water, stepping softly, breathing deeply, and valuing the present moment above all else. The mind is always changing, shifting from joy to sorrow in a heartbeat. But within that flux, we have the power to keep the jar steady. We can choose, again and again, to add a drop of kindness rather than a drop of poison. In doing so, we not only save ourselves, but we also offer a drink of cool, clear water to a thirsty world.